All right. Of the series, so you want to start prepping. And I don't want to get too crazy on the first one. uh, no, this is like not your doomsday prepping crazy series where we talk about like what if a nuclear disaster occurs or anything like that. While we certainly will cover preparing for situations, um, we want to keep it realistic. And uh, is it possible that we have a nuclear disaster? Sure. We've got nuclear power plants and nuclear weapons out there. So, um, what can you do as a common person in a disaster situation? And that's what we're going to talk about. Um, I'm not talking about digging holes in your backyard to make bunkers, um, and trying to keep it secret from your neighbors and stuff like that. While you might certainly have the ability and the funds to do so, that's not just going to be your normal everyday person that's going to be able to do that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to cover that stuff. And I don't have any of that stuff in place. But what I do have is an understanding of this book, Surviving a Disaster by Tony Nestor, where he details out a common sense, simple way to get yourself prepared for things that are gonna could and do happen. And then also, when the grid goes down, which is a kind of a follow-up book, making your home self-reliant, and survival gear and stuff like that. So just kind of touching on some details as far as what those things cover. This book is my biggest recommendation to anybody. If you are going to start prepping, if you want to start prepping, this book will tell you what to do. And the best part about it, and I've already talked about this book a billion times on my channel, it's a 56-page pamphlet essentially. And actually, if I cut through the appendix, it really is only 45 pages long. So there's that. This book can be purchased, I believe it's still $10.95 on apathways.com, which stands for ancientpathways.com. This is amazing. It's super lightweight. It can go with you. So that's cool. And we got somebody who popped on. Hello. Hello. Let me get on live chat here. And let's see who is it? Got my Uncle Sal slurp there. Yankee, what's up, my man? Hey, this is a little impromptu. I just happened to have like an hour to kill, and I'm not at work, so here we are. Right on. Well, this is gonna be a kind of question and answer session, and can get into some other things if we want to. I am doing well. I'm feeling much better. I actually had strep throat, and so I was off of work for like 3 days, and so I'm on antibiotics, but I feel amazing. So here I am. NATV, thanks for popping in, man. So basically, I'm just this is the first of the series, you guys, on how to start prepping. And my opinion is if you don't have any start and you don't know where to start, this book, Surviving a Disaster, $10.95 on apathways.com. He just basically in 45 pages will tell you um, the reality of disasters, uh, what it takes to prevail, survival on the run, escaping a disaster, and then assembling quality emergency kits and deciding what to prepare for. It really, if you don't have this Yankee, like this, it will really open up your mind to some things. Pathways.com. Now he's in Arizona, so he's closer to where I'm at, and so a lot of his things apply because of the region and the type of area that we live in. But a lot of it can also apply to where you're at. Preparing children to, yeah, $10.95, NETV. Preparing children about um, like preparing a go bag for your kid, things like that. Talks about toys, putting some toys in there, which are things, like your kid's going to need to be occupied sometimes. Medical kits, seasonings, and ketchup, and what about prepping for your pets? So here's like an emergency kit that he keeps, and I think this is like a 14 days of food that he preps, and so it's good. Eventually you might eat your pet. That'll be a tough call, but he even talks about like having fiat currency, which I know something that we all do. Selecting a quality knife, the different knives for different purposes. He has a home bailout kit. He keeps everything in totes in his garage, or if he can. And then what he does is he's ready to leave the house in about 15 minutes to 30 minutes because of the fires that are in his area. So really cool. But the number one thing I really love about this book is he talks about 3 different types of disasters, and they're not like earthquake, fire, flood, those types. They're more small, medium, and large disasters. And then he has you pull out a map, and you look at the map of your area, and you get a piece of paper, and you do notes, and you take notes, and you say north, south, east, west. And then you write out the pros and cons for going each direction for each scenario, small, medium, and large. Silver Limey in the house, my friend. Welcome, welcome. So that's cool because each time you write those out, you realize like there are redundancies. Where I'm at, I have mountains, desert mountains to the north of me, so I'm probably not going north. But that's a cool thing to know. I don't need to go north because there's nobody there. So that's kind of cool. But then like east and west, I have friends with homes and space that are gonna be able to provide. So Adam Rogers, I think you're asking if Yankee is in Minnesota. I am not in Minnesota. Oh, no, I am not. I'm not in Minnesota. I'm in the wonderful state of California. I am in California. Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, I love this book because it's so small. So, like, this could go in your backpack, and it's not going to add a ton of weight. And, you know, it's basically a pamphlet. But book is chock full of knowledge. I think I got both of these books for 20 bucks. So, yeah, I'm the Republic of California. That's totally, totally true. Adam, I am in a desert in California. And Timothy, I am behind enemy lines, that's for sure, my friend. So these books, if you're going to start prepping and you don't have anything started, this book is amazing. And if you are already a prepper, this book is amazing because it'll revolutionize the way you think about prepping. So I can't recommend it enough. But one thing that it does not cover is like self-defense. And so that actually, I wonder if I can't remember if it talks about having any firearms or anything like that. He doesn't really touch too much on it. No, I'm not. I'm not in Antelope Valley or Bakersfield area. I'm actually um, I'm in a valley. So anyway, he doesn't really go too much into having firearms or anything like that, but I definitely recommend that you um, get training and get uh, some kind of self-defense because if you don't, then when the doo-doo hits the fan, so to speak, people are going to want to take from you. And if you can't keep, what's the point of prepping if you can't keep it? So that brings me to another topic that I highly suggest, and that is um, getting a tribe together. Yankee, that book combined with, well, let's see. Yankee says the book 1 Second After was a novel that got him interested in prepping. So I have read that. 1 year After is the follow-up. I think there may be one more in between. Another book is called Patriots. That one is the one that started me off. And then this one, Victoria, and Keep Your Finger Off the Trigger. But fourth generation warfare is pretty interesting topic if you are into that kind of stuff. Let's see. So really, it can be difficult to meet like-minded individuals and develop a tribe, but that's the thing. You're not going to survive on your own. There are going to be, what I think, if there's an economic collapse or a major earthquake and our supply chain is cut off and the grocery stores stop having food, I think there's going to be a golden horde situation where people are going to start roving in gangs essentially, and they're going to want to take things. So that is the idea: having a tribe, having a group of people that prepare as well. That way they don't take from you as well, but supplement you are really important. So one of the books that I have here, this is kind of a little farther along, is Light Infantry Tactics for Small Teams. And that's by Christopher Larson. You could pick this up. You can pick this up in, I think it's like, last I checked, it's about 20 bucks online. But there's the ISBN number. This book is a great book as far as light infantry tactics go. Uh, it gets into like some super great detail. They talk about encrypting messages and all kinds of good stuff in here. So for 20 bucks, um, you can learn things that actually, I believe our infantry stopped using the infantry manual because it got way too thick, and they just were buying this book because it covered everything they needed to do. So let me read some of these comments here. Uh, Yankee, you say your neighbors would die. You have some not too far away that would band with you. That's good. Um, it's important to have conversations with them because you know they're going to be knocking on your door, Yankee. So, um, you need to figure out and have a plan. I've got some friends and people at work. Well, if they're coming over to your house, and I always just reply, you better be invited. Um, or you better bring something because if you don't bring something to the table, like that's not going to be worth anything to me, and you're just going to be a taker. Um, so that's why it's important, you guys, if you're watching this and you want to start prepping, that's why it's important to um, get going on it. And you don't have to be overwhelmed. It's just like stacking. Start small. When you start small and then just keep building on it, then that's how you end up with a big stack. Uh, I agree that a Bible is a good thing to have. Uh, let's see. Timothy says, your supplies will not last. A community in support of the security of the region is the answer to food and law. This is the only way for better chances of survival. That is absolutely correct. Um, where I've got 6 months of food stored away at my house, I don't know how long that's going to last me because I don't know if more people are going to show up that I'm going to want to feed. Uh, so, Silver Limey met up with International Stacker. Uh, that was pretty cool. In Dublin, um, let's see. Yeah, so like there comes a point where you just kind of write your neighbors off, Yankee. Your neighbors, if they're old and they keep changing, then there's only so much you can do. But as long as you've set up a group of people, and my main thing is having people that I know I could leave my family with, and they're going to take care of them if I need to go do something. Um, Adam Rogers says, "What do you think about converting to Mormonism and stacking women instead of silver?" Um, no, I could barely deal with one wife. I don't want to have uh, to do apologize to more than one woman for disappointing them. So, Yankee, you don't relish the thought of turning people away. Neither do I. I'm of the opinion that I will give until it hurts. Um, and that's something that I learned reading Patriots. Um, and it's a fictional novel, obviously, but they were a Christ-based group that prepared, and so then they had situations where they encountered other people and they would give them preps, or they would eliminate them based on their reaction. Like if somebody, this is kind of far-fetched, but like they dealt with some guys that were cannibals, and they came by their encampment, and they had like human body parts in their backpacks or whatever it was they were carrying items with, and so they ended up eliminating these guys because they were evil. Whereas like other people, like a family would show up and they would feed them and things like that. So when you're looking at developing your tribe, I do not advocate just going out and telling people, "Hey, I prep. Do you prep?" Blah 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 blah, and just give away the farm. Um, I I meet people at church or at sporting events or at work, and let them talk. And a lot of times they bring up things, and then you can interject little tidbits of information. But it's better to kind of feel them out. I've mentioned before that I'm a firearms instructor. So one of the things that I do is I teach. And so when I'm teaching firearms, people will inevitably bring things up. So one, I'm comfortable enough with these people that I'm out there and they're shooting guns around me, and I'm shooting guns around them, or just instructing them. So there's that limited part of trust. But then also, I kind of get a feel for what kind of person this is, and I really only recruit friends into my tribe. And actually, I've been training firearms and other skill sets to friend groups for almost a year, and I think I only have like two of those people in my tribe right now. So there is that. So let's see some more comments here because I'm trying to keep up here. Right. So Yankee, you say giving is key. So is using the opportunity to share the gospel. And looters would be shot and hanged with the sign around their neck. Yeah, it sounds dark, but I do it to preserve life. So I think maybe 1 second after. The problem is I read 1 second after and Patriots like back to back, and so they blend together. But I think you're getting all of that stuff from 1 second after maybe. And I agree. Like there tends to be there needs to be some sort of uh, rule of law. If there is no rule of law, then chaos, right? So you got to do what you got to do to preserve life and to preserve your family. So Timothy, you bring up a good question to your fellow Christians out there. You ask yourselves, would you sell your soul to hoarding your food against those in need? When it is time, we will all die. I will die on my own terms. Um, that's definitely true. I I don't know how I would answer that. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I don't think that it's going to be a situation where um, if I have to choose, let's just put it this way: if I have to choose between you, Timothy, or my children, I think my children are going to get the food. But if I have to choose between um, me or you. I don't know how I'm going to answer that. I don't know. All right, um, so these are some good books that you could look into if you were wanting to learn how to operate a security team, an armed, prepared citizen team. Light Infantry Tactics by Christopher E. Larson. I think it's like $29.99 or 19.99 online. I would definitely start out with something like this. This book I didn't mention. This book I use as a recruiting tool too. People want to like talk about prepping and things like that. I say, hey, buy this book. I'll go through this book with you, and um, and then we'll see. So here's the thing: you get into this book, and it starts telling you like you need to have 14 days of food. So I have 14 days of food. And I ask the person I'm going through, hey, did you do this? And they're like, oh, no, no, not yet. And I'm like, okay, you start gauging this person. Are they serious about this or are they just talking? Because a lot of people just talk and they want to say, oh, I prep. I'm a prepper. And they won't even go buy a book. They won't even go buy a $10.95 book. Um, and so that's the first step, really. I suggest this book to them and then see if they buy it. If they don't buy it, then I know right there this person's not going to be in my tribe because I can't trust them to be committed to prepping. Just starting off buying a book. South Texas prepper in the house. Yes. So folks in the LDS Church, the Latter Day Saints, they have pantries, and you don't even have to be a Mormon to buy from their pantry. And actually, some of the boxes of number 10 cans that I have in my pantry are from a local Mormon pantry. Um, Never become what we're preparing for. Here's a question for all you Christians out there. I don't know if you are pre, post, or mid tribulation rapture believers, but uh, I am a pre wrath believer. I believe that we'll probably be raptured pre God pouring out his wrath on us. And I wonder if all of my preps are just going to be left for somebody to use. I wonder if all of my silver is just going to be like hanging out, and I'll be gone. Who knows? I don't know. Uh, but better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So that's where I stand. Um, let's see. I've been going for 29 minutes. I think I'm going to try to keep these at about a half an hour. Uh, that's it. That's it, Yankee. Hope for pre-trib and post for or and plan for post. Oh, that's funny. Coin and ring guy showing up. Let's see. Timothy, what did you say? Your preps are selfish. No, the kingdom awaits. Well, you know what? The kingdom is at hand, my friend. Um, it's the kingdom is at hand. Uh, and you know, you gonna store up treasures here on earth, or are you gonna store them up in heaven? That's the question. Um, so I I personally wasn't gonna get into it, but I personally am trying really hard to be uh, end goal oriented and not here and now. So um, So that's where I stand. What else? Go over to South Texas Preppers page and check out some of his stuff. He's got some awesome videos. One he did a while back about making your own soap. I still haven't done it, STP, but I got to get in there and do it. MVL 9591. What is up, my friend? Thanks for popping in. Now you're cracking jokes, STP. So anyway, I was hoping that Nova Stacker would get in here because he said he bought the book and he's got tons of questions, but I think he was up kind of late, so we'll see. So Yankee says Timothy is right. Treat others as you'd like to be treated, but at the same time, self-defense and self-preservation and protecting your loved ones is not mutually exclusive either. I agree. If it comes down to me or or them, I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose my family. I'm going to choose the innocent person every time. And you know what? That's it's legal and it's lawful too. So that's another thing. Okay, so don't be Timothy. Thank you for bringing that up. Defense is one subject. You're right, but not being the pirate is key. So, I've got some people that have said to me, "Oh well, I've got guns and ammo, and I'll just take the food," and that is not the right thing to do. Why are you putting yourself in a situation where you're going to have to murder, where you're going to have to steal, when you're going to have to rob to survive, when you have enough foresight right now to prep and to prepare beforehand? So, yeah. So I've heard people say, "Oh, I'll just I'm just gonna go to Costco. I'm just gonna go to Walmart. I'm just gonna." Oh my heavens! Can you imagine the amount of people that are saying that? And then when it happens, oh, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good over there. That'll be uh, that'll be a uh, mass murder site. Just look at just look at human nature at Black Friday events. Search Black Friday on YouTube, Target Black Friday or Walmart Black Friday, and you'll see what it's going to be like times. Take what it's like there and then multiply it by 100, and you'll see. It'll be terrible. Brain Dead New Yorker, welcome, welcome. So anyway, you guys, I don't want to go like too much longer than 30 minutes. We're coming up on 35 minutes of this, but this is one of a series. I plan on having some more people on, and I want to do these live streams weekly, maybe bi-weekly, and I'll get some of you guys on to share your thoughts and plans and things like that. And really just thanks for hopping on and helping me to have a discussion about this. I learn as I go. I'm still learning, and I'm still figuring out all of my preps and things like that. Like right now, I've neglected power, and I need to get some kind of generator, and I'm looking at dual fuel generators, so it'll take propane or gas. Um, and that's why you guys haven't seen me very long. In a while, I haven't really been buying any silver, so I'm planning on making a purchase of a generator here pretty soon, and so that's what I've been up to. Um, we need to have a forum on this topic. You know, there's all kinds of forums um, on it. I don't know, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to do a tri-fuel generator. What would be the third fuel there, Yankee? What would be the third fuel? Oh, you have a tri-fuel. I'm waiting on Yankee to type it in, or I'm gonna have to Google it. I'm sure I'll Google it after anyway. But anyway, so I'm looking at. Oh, it probably will like go off of solar too, or what? But anyway, I'm looking at doing something like that. That way, when the power goes out, I'll be able to run my fridge and a light and a fan because I live. Oh yeah, natural gas is not a bad thing. I want to be able to run my fridge and a fan and a light, uh, and so I'm going to look into that, and then after that, we'll figure out where I can go from there. So this is Slow Stacker. I am stacking it slow. I thank you guys all for hopping on here, and I will see you on. So you want to start prepping number 2, which will be in probably a week or two. I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye now.